Good day, folks. Now this is a picture and a half, isn't it? Like, what is he doing with that dead limb? What is that thing sitting on top of the old satellite receiver? Well, we're going to get to that in just a moment. I'll be right back with you, and we'll look at using my Firebox Nano with some old branches off of the trees that are dead, and it's time to make a coffee the lazy man's way. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yes, I'm wielding a weapon, and I'm just going to slice off a few pieces. By the way, this saw, I'm using it because I bought it. It's not great, but have to try it out, don't we? My silky little boy, or whatever it is, the little silky saw is far better. This was a purchase at a rural hardware store because it looked like about the right size. Now it was sealed up, so I couldn't see the blade. Okay, now isn't that something that we should all learn from, eh? I'm going to go for probably 2 more at the most. We're experimenting today. We're going to be testing out some diamond strike anywhere matches, and just because I thought it was the right thing to do. Okay, now I'm going to snap some off, and hopefully we'll have to, we'll lay that one down a little bit. You know how it goes. I decided not to raid my little container I've got that's pretty much full of trimmings from the trees. I didn't think it was necessarily the best idea. This is sort of in a way similar to how they recommend loading up the stove with them vertical. Now I didn't split them or anything. Okay, now what I did was, I mentioned one of the other ones when I showed my Pathfinder water bottle kit and their orange light my fires. Now this is my imitation. I'm going to bring it up nice and close, and hopefully you can see that fine. Okay, you can see the thinness of it, and I was looking at my iPhone to see what you could see. Okay, I'm going to cheat and cut it in half. Now this is, as I mentioned before, those wonderful cosmetic painting pads, and I must admit, to my thinking, I got too much. You can see it's bending, and that's okay, because scratching it with a knife, I wasn't getting fibers. I'm going to have to find a way of dipping them, and maybe somebody will have a suggestion for me how to do it and not get so much wax. I guess I could have had the wax colder. Now, like I said, I'm going to try these matches. They came out of my wife's bug out bag, and as I mentioned before, she has passed away. Her bug out bag is being reused for something else, and I gotta admit, yeah, they have my beef with these kind of matches. You can see how small those heads are. Let me bring them right up there. Not great. Okay, now we have a breeze here, and we don't want that to interfere, hopefully. And I'm just going to stick this thing in here, and then up come twigs, little tips. We just need to have some little ones on here, and that even would be enough to give it started. I don't plan on using that whole package of them, and we'll see we'll see if the match is successful in getting that paraffin going. And yes, it is. Okay. And so, if you could see from this limb, well, how do I put it? Probably a dozen campfires for this little guy going, but I wanted to use it. I used it in a campground once, and you heard the crunch. Okay. And of course, I'm still using the old satellite receiver, the one that was dead, to give me a shelter from the table. Couldn't be out in the woods today, so I thought I would just have to resort to doing it this way. Now, I used a half. I think the last time that we used these, I used a quarter, and probably a quarter would be enough, but I wanted to be sure to get it going. And since I don't have any of that igniting cakes, you know, they're the rust colored ones, I'm going to say Light My Fire may have it on his website, not sure. Anyway, the Firebox. Anyhow, we'll see how it goes. I'm just taking a check here and seeing what I can see. Okay, and I gotta admit, flames look good on my cell phone. And so we have a start made now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this. I'm going to end up making multiple clips, video clips, and then splicing them together. So I'll be back with you once the fire burns down a bit. Well, folks, welcome back. As you can see, the fire is burning better. Now you can also notice this one, half an inch too long. Oh well. It's at the pot. It's a good thing I've got a larger pot, and it's sitting on, resting on the two legs in that log, and warming it up. Getting a good flame coming up there. I can see where meticulously cutting them would be good. Now, this saw, it's a MintCraft Guardian. Okay, it was made in China, of course. Where else, right? It does have the rubber grip on it, so that it doesn't slip in your hand too much. It's comfortable enough, the grip. The blade, it's a punched out blade. Yeah. In other words, it's not a hollow grind, so you can't touch it up with a file. Because if you do that, that means you're going to have to use a tooth setter and reset the teeth. And I'm not sure the steel is good enough for that. Anyway, my plan, see, it doesn't even want to line up properly with the handle slot. It's one of those it'll do for now things. And I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to relax. And I've got in there, I'm going to say enough coffee for a cup and a half to 2 cups, which means I got more than enough. And once we get the thing perking along a little better, I'll pop back and let you know how we're going. But as I'm suspecting right now, we probably don't even have any bubbles yet. Well, actually, I do. There are bubbles forming on the bottom. So that will give you guys a really knowledgeable, a good idea about that one. We'll pause for now and get back to you probably in about 5 minutes or so. Well, we're just about there, folks. Matter of fact, the offending stick burnt down, so now you can sit on all 4 legs, or all 4 armrests. It's just about at a boil. I've got steam coming out. I think you can probably see it from there. I hope so anyway. Anyway, I give it a minute or so more, and that's going to be about it. So, definitely not going to use this whole thing for stirring my coffee. Nope. I cheated. Now today I'm using something different. I went to Mountain Equipment Co-op yesterday because ash is blowing around. Anybody that's ever gone there or looked at the website said, all those great things they've got. Well, I went in for a couple of Nalgene plastic bottles, the BPF, I think it is, free, you know, the ones that are the new standard. And don't you know, I wanted a mug to toss around and I wouldn't get burnt on. Just, oh, you mean my stainless steel mugs are just great, but not to drink on. They made a hot cup of coffee in it. And so I picked up this GSI. And I don't know if I have a, it just says GSI Outdoors on it with their logo. Anyway, it's not too bad. Bring it up here so you can have a peek. The handle, as you can see, is fabric, and it's actually sewn on over the seam for the covering. Covering is not thick, 1 millimeter maybe, something like that. It did not get hot with boiling coffee in it, and so in actual fact I first tried it out this morning with my new air press. And that's Mark Young's fault down in Halifax. Him and a few other people who raved about how good they were. So I think we probably, I got steam coming out of the vent hole. Like, yes, it's boiling like crazy. Now I knew a fella that told his kids, never make my coffee unless the water is boiling when you use instant. Well, remember the last time I bit the container to open it? I'm not doing it this time. I did remember to bring along my little case, my trusty case companion, and so we don't have to have a mess. And if only this was smell-o-vision, eh? I'm going to dump it in first. Okay, put a branch over top so it doesn't blow away. Now, I regret that this pot does not have a pour spout, but I think we can probably get by. Now, if somebody else was here with their cup, there is about enough for another half a cup for somebody. But, oh well, I'm going to let it cool down. Let's see, the fire, I'm going to just, I think what we'll do is we'll pause it momentarily. Okay, there you can see I've got little pieces of coals left in the bottom. Those two logs are still there. And the advantage, I could, before I started it up, I zoomed the camera in a little bit closer. So there you go. Now I did have one stick that came out this hole because I angled it and angled it towards the hole, and it burnt off inside and popped out, and I just put it back in. So no problem with that. And I'm just going to move back a little bit. Here's the coffee. That's full enough. It's got a pop-on lid. The pot that I'm using, you can see the beads on it. Yeah, those holes there, the steam was just belching out of there. So there I go. Okay, be right back. Okay, back to you. Well, of course the phone's going to fall down. I'm going to have to use a little stand for the phone, I guess, in the future. Anyway, the GSI cup, I like it. It's got a flip cover for the hole, and it also covers the small hole in there. I'm moving it. I don't want to stick in. Okay, so you can see the small hole for breathing. To drink through, rubber seal is the black thing, and it works well. Now, the cup is quite warm on the outside, and I must admit I'm not going to drink from it immediately because that would be the height of foolishness on my part. Okay, so what did we learn? Well, for one thing, as I knew, the poplar wouldn't burn for long. Those pieces, I'm going to knock them down and probably they will burn a bit better. Yeah, they're burnt through in spots anyway. I'm going to let them burn, and that will be good. I love this little stove because I can carry it in my pocket. In actual fact, I have a small rucksack that's very lightweight, light duty, even though it is water resistant, and so as a result I can carry that Firebox Nano in it, no problem, in one of the upper sleeve compartments. It's got 2 zipper compartments in it, and so I carry it, the matches and stuff in there. Let's see what else. Compass, you know, some of that urgent stuff. I carry a I haven't even got a knife in the kit yet, but that's my hiking kit where I want to take along. And in actual fact, instead of this, I'm going to be using my 775 milliliter pot, the Seagull, MSR Seagull, yeah. It was lid in a soup bowl, and it's got a plastic cup in there that's oval. It's sort of half moon shaped, you know, the type like this MSR makes with lid, and so that will be fine, carry in there. So I can, in actual fact, make up some cup of soup or ramen noodles, whatever. That's not a problem. But meanwhile, I'm just going to sit here and relax, enjoy the evening while my barbecue is working hard behind me. And another 15 minutes or so I'll put seasoning on the ribs that are on, and yeah, then we'll worry about the rest of supper after that. The main thing is getting the ribs cooked and have them all ready. All the best to you. Take care. Enjoy your summer. It is a beautiful day. The sun is shining, more or less. Yeah, there's a light, very light haze or cloud there way up there. So it's nice and sunny, hot, about 26, 27 degrees, something like that, and quite muggy. So anyway, I got a chance to, while I'm cooking my ribs, to make this video, and I'm glad of that. And we'll get into something more in depth next time, possibly. Okay, that's it from here, from Paradise Village, that is. Head speaking. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your comments, your hints, suggestions. Thank you always for the thumbs up, and if you haven't registered, so that you can do the thumbs up and subscribe, I ask you to consider doing that. For myself and others as well, would appreciate being able to get a subscription. Thumbs ups, they're a good encouragement as well. Meanwhile, I'm going to sit back and relax while this stove goes out, and then I'll get around to dumping the coals into a bucket of water. Have a good night. Bye for now.